I apologize about the technical difficulties. Had some little difficulties with Discord, but now we're all fine with that. My keyboard is for some reason acting up, but that's all right. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all having yourselves a good night. Before we get into everything, okay, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell icon as well, so that way you know when I upload. And also, if you want to come onto the Discord chat, you can totally do that. The link to that is down below, and if you want to have a voice chat with me, and you want to give your thoughts about the Phillies, about the Sixers, or about any of the other teams, we'll be taking calls during this cast, so if you want to talk about the Phillies, we can totally do that. And also don't forget to follow the socials as well, and follow me on Linktree. All right, so with that being said, let's talk about the Phillies because they've been very disappointing. And to be honest with you, if you're a Philadelphia sports fan right now, I don't think anybody's really happy with just the state of Philadelphia sports. And when you take a look at the Phillies, they're on a 5-game winning streak. Okay, you did a good job at taking the first 2 games out in Denver, Colorado, and then you wet the bed in the last game. You get shut out 4-0, and then against the Giants, you're just not able to take care of business. And they just kept finding ways to lose, and there's a reason why that this team is playing 500 baseball. Like right now, every time that they go on a 5-game winning streak, they just do something, and they just and they just find ways to lose because it's either problems on the base pads, it's problems in the field, right, with the fielding. It's lack of fundamentals, and then this team just keeps leaving guys on base. I mean, they're such a joke. This lineup that was supposed to be, it was supposed to be conducted really well, they just can't put it together. And I don't understand why. When you look at game 1, they lose 7-4 against the Giants. You want to know how they, it was today that they lost 7-4. Sorry, getting my days mixed up here. But this team left 7 men on base today, and they were 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. In game 2, they really weren't much better. They were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and then in game 1, they were 0 for 8. That is not going to win you ball games, and when you keep coming up so small, there's just something to be said about that. Today in the 9th inning, they had an opportunity of coming back in this one and taking the lead, and they just shit the bed. That's all that they did. They found ways to lose, and the bullpen didn't help them either, and we'll get to the bullpen in just a second. But Trey Turner's striking out on pitches. He's swinging and missing at pitches that he shouldn't even be swinging at. Kyle Schwarber is still not getting hot now. Brandon Marsh had an at-bat where I thought that he should have come up with a clutch hit. Bryson Stott, there were like runners over at first and second, and this dude grounds into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. And he almost beat out the throw over at first base, even though he was, according to Tom McCarthy, he was a little bit slow coming out of the batter's box. But that's just unacceptable. And I thought that we were better by now. I really did. I just don't understand why this team just can't get it together, and I'm starting to get really frustrated by it. I don't know what has to change. I really do believe, and Larry was right, I do believe that the that the Phillies, have to give Trey Turner a day off. I do. I don't know if that's going to help anything, but maybe try to clear up his conscience. Ruben Amaro said something that was really interesting last night. He said that if he was the hitting coach, he would say, guys, let's skip batting practice today, and let's try to get a little bit more loose at the plate, and let's have fun. And I thought that maybe that's a really cool philosophy that I probably would have went into. But there's something that's not clicking, and it seems to be a trend over and over and over again, and I'm tired of this wave. Maybe part of it's because, this lineup is in and out, and everybody's batting in different spots and trying to get used to new roles and whatever. I don't know what it is, but it has to stop. And I'm getting tired of it. I'm really just getting frustrated, and when you're leaving so many guys on base, It's just like, how? Especially with this lineup on paper that was supposed to be really good coming into the season. And you just can't come up big. The pitching's a whole nother problem. Taijuan Walker today, only 2/3 of an inning. That was terrible. He did not have his stuff, and he allowed 4 earned runs, all in that first inning. And I'm going to tell you, like, right now, like, the Giants aren't necessarily, like, a top-tier team in Major League Baseball. And yet, somehow, they're able to sweep you guys, and they, like, only got 4 runs in the first, and then they scored 3 in the 8th inning. And Gregory Soto sucked, but that was it. That was it for today. They aren't necessarily like a top-tier juggernaut of a team, and yet they swept you, and they also, like, lost 3 in a row to Arizona. Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about with Game 1. Where was it? The bullpen has been fine overall. I don't think that the bullpen has necessarily been the biggest issue, but the problem that I had in Game 1 was that Connor Brogdon came in for about 2/3 of an inning, and then they went to Bailey Falter, and Falter allowed 8 hits and was just absolutely brutal. And it wasn't all his fault. Okay, the defense was terrible as well, but Falter, man, like, I thought he was better, and there's a reason why he's now 0-7 on the season. So, the pitches are just a little bit up. There's something that's going on with his confidence right now. I don't necessarily know what it is. Zach Wheeler didn't even have his sharpest outing again and continues to be inconsistent. I'm just tired of this inconsistent baseball, and I don't know when they're going to change the tide and they're going to, build around winning and go on a roll. I don't know when that's going to happen. Every time that you think that something is going to happen with this team, they just find ways to lose and then come back down to earth and show you that they can't necessarily play consistent 500 baseball. And that's not good. Of course, it's a long season, and I know that we keep saying this, but when are you going to turn it around? When? It should be now. You're going on to face the Chicago Cubs this weekend. I expect that there's going to be a lot of offense, and I wonder if I have to change my expectations for this team just because of how they've been playing lately. Because it's not fun to watch. It's not a cool brand of baseball. And I get it that guys are injured. I understand that Derek Hall's out. Christian Pache's out. Okay, Ranger Suarez just came back. Jose Alvarado's now out. I get all of that. But your top 2 guys, Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, have not been themselves. And the hitting just keeps leaving guys on base. When this team was projected to be one of the best lineups in all of baseball. It makes no sense. It truly doesn't make any sense. Marsh is starting to be a little bit cold. Stott, it was nice to see him hit a home run, but he's been a little bit inconsistent lately. And Trey Turner, he had 2 hits today, but they're singles, man. And I don't want to, go back to the whole, Nick Castellanos singles and Alec Bohm singles. This guy, we got him in the offseason for him to do some damage at the plate, and now's the time for him to produce. I also see him on the field making some lackadaisical plays. He's not fielding ground balls the way that he should be some of the time. Yesterday, he had a really big error. Come on, dude. Step up. Bryce has been the only player that I've been, pretty happy with. And JT is starting to turn the tide around a little bit, and I think he's starting to feel himself. But Schwarber Turner, Bohm, Marsh, and just like when there's big situations, you just can't turn the tide. When will it stop? I don't know. It's funny to me because Michael Conforto is like a Hall of Famer whenever he faces the Phillies. And somehow he was 0 for 4 today and then just happened to get on with a single back in the 8th inning. And just when you think that things are going to be fine and the Phillies tied the game, he singles and then Omer Flores is able to get on with a 2-run double. What a joke. And I give the Giants like a lot of respect for them taking care of their business, but the Phillies should have just never gotten swept the way that they did, and they blew this game. Gregory Soto was terrible and was really bad, and I don't understand why Rob Thompson just continues to keep his guys out there for as long as he does. When something is going bad, you have to change it up. No excuse that your starter only went 2/3 of an inning today, because you had Matt Strom go out there for a couple of innings too. So other guys were getting rest, and you have a rest day tomorrow. Why didn't Kimbrel come in after the base hit? I don't get it. You want to keep it at a 5-4 game. Don't you want to change things up? Every game counts. I don't know. The umpires were bad in this series, but that's not why you lost. It's like the refs, in the NBA. Rob Drake today was terrible. Made some really bad calls behind the plate. But that's not why you lost. You keep losing because you're lacking the fundamentals. You're not going out there with a sense of urgency. And you keep leaving so many guys on base. And you're not hitting well with runners in scoring position. That was the bread and butter of the team. And I'm tired and angry that Trey is not turning this thing around. And other guys just aren't coming through. Can they do that this weekend? I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys, though, and I'd like to hear what your thoughts are, because I'm curious. And I think that you guys have a right to be frustrated with the way that this team has been playing. And I don't know. They're just really sickening. I don't really have too much else to say, except that I'm not really enjoying this as a fan. It's the truth. See what you guys have to say. All right, let's check the text messages. Hey, JJ. He's having tech issues at the moment. What's up, Snowman? Dude, Joey Bart has been really bad for the Giants. I'm, really shocked that he has not been performing. And when he got on with that bloop double yesterday, I was furious deep down. That was one of the luckiest base hits I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm just looking at this lineup from top to bottom, and I see Bryson Stott, and I see Trey Turner, and I see Bryce Harper. Coming into the season, you would think that you would have so much energy with this team, and you would feel so happy just to see them play. I don't feel that right now. I'm looking at the lineup here, and I'm mad. I'm angry. So, what do I know? Maybe the homestand can help change things up. I have no idea. I listened to Rob Thompson the other day talk about the state of the Phillies, and he likes where the pitching is going, where the hitting was heading, but I just don't. I don't think Rob has actually done a good job either at his job. and I love Rob Thompson. I wanted him to be the manager from day one, ever since Girardi was fired and he took over. There was something to him. He had a really good feel for the game, and he's lost it somehow. And no one can explain it to me. Sometimes I feel like he has a little too much trust in his players. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I actually just thought about that right now. Sometimes I do that. Think out loud. But no. You have a chance to correct this, and hopefully you can try to work things out. But leaving guys on base, the amount of times that you keep doing that, bases loaded in the second inning of last night's game. In the first, you have runners over at second and third with nobody out. That is called losing baseball. That's not a winner baseball mentality. It's a recipe for a disaster. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. Disappointed and pretty mad. But whatever. They'll be back on Friday, and hopefully they can have a better outing, and hopefully they can try to work things out. But we'll see. This team, they've been through their ups and downs so far this season. But it's a long season, and Ricky Battalica said that June is coming really shortly, so hopefully that will help Schwarber. He hasn't been consistent at the plate either. But anyhow. All right. It was a really short one today. We're going to shut things down. Sorry I was a little bit late today. I have been having some problems with some of my technology. Yeah. But we'll be back on by midnight. We'll talk about the Sixers. But no, I just had to come on here and just let you know that I am really not happy with this team. And there has to be change. I don't know what it is, but maybe the off day could help them. But I just think that Trey Turner has to sit a day. Like, they have to be a little bit more loose. But if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell icon as well. I love you all so much. We'll be back on tonight at midnight. I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.